It's 7:30 a.m. on the 21st of April 21. This fence is going to be replaced today. So Stu was acting as labourer for Cockles, who was building the fence for us. They worked hard to get out all of the old fence posts that were in the way, and there was lots of wire on the other side too. There was a lot more clearing of more ivy and more shrubbery that was all in the way. At the end of day one, we had some piles that were all separated out into metal waste, rubble, and a huge pile of concrete that got pulled out. There was a big pile of ivy and garden waste that was going to get picked up. They'd also cleared the compost heap that used to cover the whole corner of the garden over here. Day 2 started and the first couple of posts went in and a panel. Stu was on hand to make sure everything was level and to his liking, and he ended up chopping down a couple of branches off the tree so that when the grabber lorry came it could get in to get all of the compost out. It's mad how much soil came out of here. It was all stuff that couldn't really be spread in the garden, not very good. But between them, Cockles and the digger man, they managed to fill up a whole lorry with what was our compost heap. He was due to come back the next week to pick up all of the rest of the rubbish too. So moving on in the week, and a lot more panels had gone in and a lot more posts, and it was starting to look like a fence for us. That weekend we finally got the lawnmower going, and I had a little play around the garden, working out that if you go in circles it's much easier than trying to do stripes and go up and down with the turn and circle of the thing. Bella did a lot more squirrel spotting. These old goalposts we managed to get rid of eventually and give to someone in the village. It's really looking like it's nearly there. We've still got the Harris fencing up to keep the dogs in at this point. We'd ordered 5 tons of new topsoil to be delivered when the grabber lorry came back. That was so we could start filling in some of the hollows and the holes that are in this part of the garden. Took away all of the concrete. So much easier than having to put it all in a skip to get the grabber lorry in. He also managed to fill up the lorry with all of the green waste and the ivy that got taken away as well. And this saved us hundreds of trips to the tip with the trailer. So here we have it from the outside, the whole fence line. It looks completely different and really good. So happy with it all. By now it was the beginning of May and we spent the bank holiday weekend tidying the bank on the outside. We got rid of all of the weeds, tidied up a little bit, and we put down wildflower seeds. So hopefully in a few weeks' time they're going to start coming through, and in the summer we might have some really lovely flowers out there. The finished result looks so much better than it did before. So in the back garden a couple of weeks later, we managed to find an old railway bench which looks great under the trees. We decided to carry on and try and tidy out the railway shed. We just dumped a lot of stuff in here when we moved in, and a lot of the stuff was left here from before. It really needs a full makeover and a paint. It could perhaps be a glamping pod at some point, but for now it's just full of junk and we just want to tidy it out. Get rid of all of the old kitchen units and things that came from the dining room. This is just some of the stuff we got rid of from in there, probably a lot more too. And it looks so much cleaner, so much clearer. Didn't do much more because the weather drew in that afternoon, but just a huge difference on the inside, ready for some paint another day.
Jack.
We've been carrying on and doing some more tidying in the garden, getting rid of some of these shrubs that came through the fence that we need to keep for a while, just doing a general bit of tidy up over this area. Stu managed to get the petrol strimmer going finally, so that meant we could get rid of a lot of the weeds that were over this area. We started spreading out some of the topsoil that we'd had delivered to equal out some of the levels over the back here. It's involved a lot of shoveling, a lot of wheelbarrows, and not a lot of help from Bella here. A couple of weeks later, this is what we've got. Looks nice and neat, looks nice and tidy, and so much better than it has done over the winter. We've got some gorgeous bluebells out at the moment, and we've started to sort out the pots and the plants in the patio too. The gardens are just suddenly full of colour. There's leaves on the trees, the wistaria's out, the smell is gorgeous, and it's just looking lovely at the moment. Really enjoying a very late spring in the garden.